Okay, welcome to SIMIODE Expo 2020. I'm Brian Winkel, I'm the director, and I've been corresponding with a number of you. First of all, we want to do a few introductions. We want to express some appreciation and some orientation. At the beginning of all conferences, there's a little angst on the part of the organizers and attendees as to exactly how it will work. Kevin Cook, who is the platform director from mathdepartment.org, will take over the second half of this introduction, and we will get more detailed instructions from him. So our program focuses, of course, on what SIMIODE is about, namely teaching differential equations through modeling, but it has a broad coverage to include such topics as cryptology, dietary modeling, a fun math bowl. We have sessions of various kinds and various steps and workshops. We have a speaker from the National Science Foundation who was scheduled to speak today, but who will be rescheduled to speak at 4 o'clock tomorrow. And we have people from the National Security Agency ready to talk with students and some faculty about experiences and opportunities there. But in general, we have two kinds of presentations. One is a formal presentation or a workshop, and another one is a breakout session, which is meant to be informal with a moderator. And it's up to those people in the room that are there to keep things moving. The sessions that are formal, the presentations, the keynotes, etc., will be recorded and posted at our SIMIODE site for later use. You can check the SIMIODE site for Expo 2021, last year's videos, and the slides from the talks. That might take 3 to 4 weeks for us to assemble. The breakout sessions, the informal sessions, are not recorded at all. We've asked the moderators to take down some notes of some interesting and cogent notes, which we'll post. But for now, those are candid and open, so feel free, if you're in one of those, to speak your mind. It's no recording. I want to express my appreciation for the organizing committee, all of whom are from the United States, but from coast to coast. And here you see their names. They will pop up as possible presenters or hosts throughout the conference. We have, excuse me here, I can't seem to get it to stop at that one. Yeah, we do have a poster session. We only have one poster session from students. The attendance for the entire conference is about 220 people, but we only got one student poster session, and that'll occur in the schedule in the program. You can see it, and it's from a young woman from Ghana. So I'd hope you'd stop in. She's going to be talking about modeling malaria, something that affects the continent, and at least say hello to her and greet her. Kevin Cook is the person you'll be hearing from mathdepartment.org. They've been very helpful, and we're on this Sakoco platform, which I think you're going to find very enjoyable once you figure out how to work it. And they're always available through help. All of the people from Math Department have a help in front of them. And we're going to have 4 workshops immediately after this, and then we're going to take an hour break, and you can practice talking with people, and then we'll come back with our first keynote, Deborah Hughes-Hallett from University of Arizona, and we'll proceed with the conference from there. We have a rich evening set of programs, too much for you to take in. That's why we're recording them, so pick the ones that you want to attend and jump in. The site will be open all the time for you to converse and knock on doors and meet with people. And Kevin's going to talk about that. And as I said, all the sessions except the posters and the breakout will be recorded. And enjoy yourselves and think about sharing next year at this time in SIMIODE Expo 2023. So I'm going to stop sharing and turn this over to Kevin and ask him to give us some advice on how to work our way around. Let's see, is Kevin here? While we're waiting for Kevin, I will take a few moments of personal time. Oh, is Kevin? Kevin, are you ready? Yes. So here's Kevin. No.
All right. Can you hear me, Brian?
Yes, and everyone else can.
Perfect. Sorry about that. All right. Well, let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. Brian, can you see my Sakoco screen?
We all can.
Fantastic. Perfect. All right, everyone. Well, welcome to the first day of SIMIODE Expo 2022. As Brian mentioned, Sakoco is going to be the main platform we will be using throughout the duration of the expo. Each attendee has an avatar on the map once you finish signing in. And by moving my cursor and hovering over any of the avatars, I'm able to see their name and their status. I can see Cecil down here in the lobby. I can see Wei up here on the top. I've got Emily helping me out. She's up here in the help desk area. So there you can kind of quickly get a sense of who is in what room and their status. So showing whether they're away, available, or they might be busy throughout the conference. If you wish to edit any of that information, you can do so by simply right-clicking on your avatar. A menu will appear, and here you can update your status and edit your profile. So updating your status, we've got these different icons. So if you wanted to show that you're away, you could do so, and you'll kind of see that instantly changes over your avatar. Again, a simple right-click on your avatar, you can edit your profile. This is where you can change your name. You could change the initials that show up below your avatar. As Brian mentioned, myself and all other mathdepartment.org staff members will have help at the beginning of our names and this SOS emoji just to help make us a little more easily identifiable and stand out from the crowd. All right, to move your avatar, all you do is simply click on the room name you wish to enter, and you'll see your avatar kind of jump around from room to room. The reason this is important is because throughout the duration of the expo, you may want to have casual conversations and network with some of the other attendees. So while all of the scheduled sessions and breakouts will be taking place in Zoom, you're also able to video chat within Sakoco. The video chat is kind of location based. So you can only video chat with other attendees that are in the same virtual room as you. So right now, myself and Dina are in this room in room 1. If I wanted to video chat, maybe in between a session or maybe after the day's sessions are over, I can do so by coming to the top right-hand corner, selecting the drop-down arrow next to the Sakoco icon. And here is where I can turn on my microphone, turn on my video, and I can also share my screen if I wanted to. So that's a little bit about how you're going to be turning on your microphone and video just within Sakoco. Again, these are kind of those in-between networking opportunities throughout the duration. On the left side of your Sakoco screen, you'll see the chat column where you're able to send one-on-one messages. So I can pull up Brian. I can send Brian a message and say, hi. We've got a bunch of emojis we can play with as well. And so that's a one-on-one chat message just between Brian and myself. You can have a one-on-one conversation, or when I move my avatar into the main room or room 5, you can see here at the top of the chat column, I can send a chat to everyone that's in this room. Once I send that, all of you that are here in this main room, I can see the names here along the chat column, people in the main room. Yang Ping's getting me a response. Thank you, thank you. Perfect. All right, so that's going to be a great way if at any point throughout the conference you want to have an informal breakout session. You can always jump into a room filled with other attendees, send a quick message. Maybe it's, hey, let's meet down here in Lounge D if you want to have a discussion on, whatever topic suits you. One other kind of unique tool that we can do is if you wanted to grab someone and kind of invite them into your room, you can do so by right-clicking over that avatar. A menu will appear and I can select Get Brian. When I select that, Brian will then see a message in his Sakoco window that says, I'm asking him to join me in Lounge D. So that's how I can kind of gather other attendees throughout the conference to kind of have some of those informal breakouts. If at any point throughout the conference, you wish to have a private or confidential conversation, you can jump into any of these small offices throughout the map. Once inside that office, if you right-click within the bounds of the office, you can select Close the Door. Once the door is closed, other attendees are not able to enter freely whenever they want. What they need to do is they'll have to right-click within the bounds of the room. I'm gonna test this right now within the main room. Again, a right-click within the bounds of the room, the menu appears, and I can knock on the main room. So everyone in the main room, you may have heard a knock there, and then in the bottom left-hand corner, a message saying to let Kevin into the room. So thank you to whoever allowed me to come into the room. And as you can see on the screen share, my avatar then joins the main room. So that's how, if you were to wish to enter a room where the door is closed, you're just gonna have to knock. All right. Real quick, I'm going to show once the room is empty with the door closed, anyone is able to enter. But if anyone tries to enter this office right now that I'm inside, you'll kind of get a denied message saying you're not allowed to enter because the door is closed. To do the reverse of that, I'm going to again right-click, and now I'm going to open the door. So once again, now that the door is open, anyone's able to enter. So this is a little bit of how Sakoco mimics some of these in-person interactions that you might have at an in-person conference. Now, I mentioned before that all of these scheduled presentations and keynotes will be taking place within Zoom. If you're following along on the detailed schedule on the SIMIODE website, you'll see before each session the R1, R2, R3, and R4. That corresponds here to the map, room 1, 2, 3, 4. The main room here in the center will also take the place of room 5 when needed. We've got room 6 down here in the bottom center. And then throughout the conference, you'll see these room names change during those sessions where we have many simultaneous sessions occurring at once, whether that be breakout sessions or presentations. So be on the lookout for some of these lounge A, B, C, and D to change throughout the conference. Now, the Zoom sessions are linked using these share icons. So any of these icons you see throughout this space, you can move your cursor over and you can see what is linked to that icon. So here is the room 1 Zoom, room 2 is the room 2 Zoom, 4, here's 3, and at the top of the center room, you can see right now it's currently linked to the SIMIODE Expo opening ceremony, which we are currently in. All you need to do is click on this icon and the Zoom window will open. So again, it's important to kind of follow along with the schedule, because at the scheduled time, whichever session you want to join, that's how you'll know which link to click. Within each of the help desk rooms, we have the link to the video tutorial and written instructions in case you forget something during this orientation that you want to reference. All of the kind of unique tips and tricks can be found with this link. If you wish to share any information, which I would encourage, Brian mentioned we will have one poster presentation a little bit later on, but at any point, if anyone wishes to share information, we do ask that you keep it professional and clean. You can do so by clicking on the green box with the white plus sign that appears each time you enter a new room. So you can see as I'm jumping between these different offices, each time I enter, that green box appears. By hovering over it, you can see I can add a share. I can enter a simple URL. I can edit that title if I wish, and then I can select an icon that will appear once I select add a share. And just like that, it populates here in this office. This is just a simple Google link, so nothing too fancy there. All right. I'm going to right click on that icon now to edit or remove that share. So as you can see throughout the duration of this orientation, a lot of what we're going to be doing here in Sakoco can be accomplished by simply clicking where we want to go, clicking on what we want to view or attend, or a simple right click to get some of those menus to appear. So here, as I entered room 1, you can see Dina, if you don't mind me using you as an example here, Dina's got her camera turned on. So when I enter room 1, I can see her camera view here, and I can also see on her avatar that little green dot. And so since she's turned her camera off, that goes away. All right, that concludes the orientation for Sakoco.
Kevin?
Yes.
Could you demo once more how I contact someone and have a conversation one-on-one? Because last year we didn't take advantage of the social nature of the platform as much, and partly because I think people were not confident enough. So might you try to have a one-on-one conversation, say with your helper, Marissa, just to demonstrate how that works again?
Absolutely. So let's say I've got Emily here helping in the help desk room. Let's say, I didn't know where she was. Throughout the conference, there might be many different avatars throughout the space, and maybe I'm having trouble finding Emily. At the top of the chat column, you'll see this find function. By clicking on that, the menu appears. So here I could type in Emily's name, and actually it looks like we have 2 Emilys here. So all the Emilys are being spotlighted at the moment. So that's a quick way for me to find an individual. And then from there, I can open up the chat. I could knock on the door. That's if I wanted to join Emily in her room, or I could select get Emily, and that's me asking her to join me in my room. So I can just send a simple message there by opening up that chat. Again, we've got the fun emojis if we want. So that's how we can do a simple chat one-on-one just between Emily and myself. So this is where if I wanted to, I could send a message to Emily saying, hey, join me in Lounge A. I'm trying to get a group discussion together. Then once I'm in Lounge A, that's where I could come again to the top right-hand corner to turn on my microphone and turn on my video so I can have that face-to-face conversation.
Can we demonstrate that completely here?
Yeah, I can do that. Due to us being in Zoom right now, I'm not going to turn on my microphone just to avoid kind of an audio feedback loop.
Understand.
But again, if I wanted to, here, Brian, I'm just going to do that simple right click, have you join me in Lounge A.
And I have to find Lounge A, and then how do I?
Here, if you're in Sakoco, I'll send that get message again.
But I can't, I'm looking at your screen share and I can't.
Oh, gotcha, no worries, no worries. No worries. Here, I'll do that same with Emily so that you don't have to change that.
Okay.
Oh, so then Emily joins me there. And this is where, if I wanted to, I can do the turn on video. Hey, everyone.
There you
So
are.
you can kind of get a look of what that looks like. You will see a bit of an audio delay as my mouth moves. There's Emily.
Okay.
All right. So that's what that would look like.
So
right.
that would mean you and Emily could have a what I call a hallway conversation that's quite private, that's talking about whatever, and then sign off and go back to business. Is that right?
Exactly. Okay. All right. Any other questions, Brian? Or let me check in the chat if there's any questions. All righty. Well, I show the time as 1:22, and we've got the first sessions beginning here in about 8 minutes. Again, anyone, if you have any questions throughout the duration of the expo, you can come to the top left-hand corner, click on Find. All you need to do is type in Help, and that's where you'll see all of the different math department staffers that are going to be helping out through the duration of the expo.
So I just wanted to say that from 1:30 to well past 2:10, we have 4 workshops that will be taking place in rooms appropriately room 1, room 2, room 3, and room 4. And those are on the main program that you can see at our webpage. And if you can't get to that, you can just type SIMIODE Expo 2022 and it'll get you there. And since we have moved the NSF speaker from 2:15 to 3:15 today until tomorrow at 4 o'clock, that means the hour immediately after these workshops is free. And so if needed, the workshops can bleed into that next time, or you can practice contacting a colleague or trying to meet a new friend. And we will then return after that break at 3:15 for our first keynote speaker, followed by a breakout time where we can ask and engage in conversations with Deb, who is our keynote speaker. So it's time to move on to room 1, room 2, room 3, room 4, and get set for workshops. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Brian. We'll see everyone there.